Let's talk about the key provisions of the Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act, PAFACA. In this lesson, we'll examine in depth the critical components that underpin the law, from the technical and operational definitions it uses to the structured penalties designed to ensure compliance. PAFACA establishes a specific framework to classify an application as foreign adversary controlled. To fall under this category, an app must meet several criteria. It must have an active user base. The regulation requires that the application maintain a minimum threshold of 1 million monthly active users within the United States. This quantitative benchmark ensures that only apps with a significant reach and impact on the public are subject to heightened scrutiny. Foreign ownership. The application must be owned, controlled, or significantly influenced by entities that are domiciled in or organized under the laws of a country designated as a foreign adversary. This includes nations such as China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea, among others designated by the U.S. government. This provision hinges on both direct ownership and any material influence that might affect the decision-making or operational policies of the app, thereby potentially aligning its operations with interests that conflict with U.S. national security. National security risk. An essential component is the risk assessment process. The designation of an application as posing a national security risk must be made by the President or a designated authority after thorough evaluation. The criteria for this risk assessment include potential unauthorized access to sensitive data, the platform's ability to be leveraged for influence operations, and vulnerabilities that could provide adversaries with a foothold in critical infrastructure. This risk-based approach ensures the law targets only those applications that represent a genuine threat. Once an application is designated as foreign adversary controlled, PAFACA imposes strict prohibitions that affect both the distribution and operational support of the app. Major digital distribution channels such as the Apple App Store and Google Play Store are explicitly prohibited from offering these applications within the United States. This measure is designated to cut off access to potentially risky apps at the point of download, thereby reducing their ability to affect a large user base. The law extends its reach to any digital platforms or hosting services that might update or maintain the application. This prohibition means that even if an app is already in circulation, its continued support through updates, security patches, or maintenance activities is disallowed. This step is critical because ongoing support can be used to circumvent security protocols or introduce new vulnerabilities over time. For a designated application to continue operating legally within the United States, PAFACA mandates the removal of foreign adversary influence through a process called divestiture. The key details of this requirement include the timeline. Once an application is designated, the owners are given 270 days to complete a qualified divestiture. This period is set to ensure that there is sufficient time for a proper transfer of control, while emphasizing urgency in mitigating the security risks. Then there are extension provisions. In recognition of potential complexities, such as regulatory reviews, technical integration challenges, and due diligence required during the transfer of control, the legislation permits a one-time extension of up to 90 days if significant progress has been demonstrated. And the objective. The primary goal of the divestiture requirement is to transfer the app's control to an entity based in the United States or one neutral from the perspective of U.S. national security. This process involves comprehensive technical and legal assessments to ensure that the newly aligned entity complies fully with U.S. security and operational standards. PAFACA includes a robust provision to protect the rights of individual users regarding their personal data. The law requires users can access all personal data collected by the application at any time upon request. This ensures transparency and provides users with direct control over their information. To facilitate ease of access and interoperability, The data must be provided in a machine-readable format. This typically means a structured format such as JSON, XML, or CSV, which permits users and potentially third-party tools to migrate or analyze the data securely and efficiently. This requirement also aims to prevent data lock-in and promote portability, thereby enhancing user autonomy. To enforce these provisions rigorously, PAFACA prescribes significant penalties for non-compliance. App stores or hosting services that violate the prohibition on distributing or maintaining a designated application may face fines of up to $5,000 per U.S. user who accesses the app. This per-user fine underscores the potential widespread impact of non-compliance and serves as a strong deterrent. Application owners that fail to provide user data in the required machine-readable format may be fined $500 per affected user. This penalty is designed to enforce compliance with data accessibility provisions and protect user rights. Enforcement of these penalties is spearheaded by the Attorney General's Office, which conducts investigations into compliance breaches. Depending on the severity and scope of the violation, the enforcement process may include civil lawsuits or seek injunctive relief to prevent further non-compliance. These detailed provisions illustrate PAFACA's comprehensive approach to mitigating national security risks through a well-structured legal framework.